Live from downtown Oklahoma City, Oklahoma's own News 9 starts now with a special edition.
I said, what am I watching? What is on your TV? Get it off now.
In an exclusive interview with News 9,
I'm telling the truth. I saw what I saw.
We asked the board members exactly what happened in Walter's office.
These board members have a lot to answer for, and so does the governor of the state of Oklahoma.
What's behind Superintendent Walter's accusation of the governor's involvement?
I am telling the absolute truth of what happened that day, what I saw, my words, his reaction.
We just want to know the facts, and I think nearly everybody else does too.
Whoever and however that was on there, I would like to see that resolved. But more importantly, I would like to see us move that ball from 50th to a higher. I want to move our score. That's what I'm here for.
only on 9, you are hearing from the State Board of Education members who were in the room when they say nude images played on the state superintendent's office TV. Thanks for joining us. I'm Bobbie Miller, filling in for Amanda.
And I'm Karl Torp. Tonight we are focusing on what has transpired between the board and the superintendent. We will catch you up on the timeline of events and show you what both sides are now saying.
We'll have the latest on the investigation into the superintendent and take a deep dive in one of the agencies involved. Plus, look at the key players in shaping Oklahoma's state of education. This all started Friday when 2 board members said they saw the explicit images during their executive meeting a day before.
Becky Carson and Ryan Dethridge first told the Oklahoman and non-doc the retro-style video played in the middle of them discussing revoking teacher certificates. We'll let Carson explain what she saw.
I was kind of in shock. I was like, what am I seeing? Are those women naked? And then, you try to convince yourself that you're not seeing what you're seeing. And I was like, maybe they're wearing a bodysuit. And so I'm like, let me really get a detailed look here. So I kind of moved forward a little bit, and I was like, no, they are fully unclothed women's body parts were visible.
That was last Thursday, so 2 days later, Ryan Walters broke his silence for the first time. He issued a statement to News 9 calling the allegations false and a political attack.
The next day, the Oklahoma County Sheriff's Office confirmed it was investigating the case, which was requested by OMES. We will have more on what that agency does in a moment. This all came to a head yesterday when the superintendent spoke on camera for the first time since everything happened. He claimed what played on the TV was a cable program, but could not name which one.
So Walters also said the investigation cleared him, but the sheriff's office says that is not true and their investigation is just now beginning. Walters also called on the board members to resign and accused the governor of conspiring with them.
This has been a coordinated attack to crucify my character and to try to stop the will of Oklahomans and their vision for education in the state of Oklahoma.
Governor Stitt's office told us yesterday he did not have a comment at this time. In about 10 minutes, we'll walk you through why the governor's role in this board plays a key part in Walter's claims. In our exclusive sit down today, the 3 board members told us they questioned the superintendent's reaction in that meeting.
And I asked them why that was a concern and the reasons they launched a formal report. You guys decided to be here, spend part of your day with us. Why was that important to do so? Go ahead, Becky.
It wasn't an easy decision, to do. And at no point have any of us said that he has done anything wrong. We just reported what we saw and what occurred, his reaction to it, what we saw. And I think my main reason was, one, is we're sitting in an executive meeting where we're looking at teachers' revocations of their certificates, and sometimes for even lesser offenses. And I think accountability is important. And if we're going to hold teachers accountable, which I absolutely think we should, everybody should be held accountable for their actions. But if we're going to hold teachers accountable, then we have to put the people that are in leadership accountable as well. So that was my main reason in doing it. The other reason was because, I said it before, I was exposed to images that are out of my norm. You know, I'm a Christian woman. I don't expose myself to that. I didn't give permission to be exposed to that or my consent to be exposed to that. So that was the second reason. You know, and in the last few days, I've heard from countless people. I mean, hundreds of people. And something that continues to be kind of the same comment is, and especially from women, is, you know, what's happening right now is the same reason that women don't report abuse. So there became another reason for my why.
You're in shock, but at the same time, you're a little surprised by Ryan's behavior. He seemed to be, as you put it, unapologetic.
I would say I was more than a little surprised. You know, it was almost as bad as what I saw, his reaction to it. If that, let's, you know, go back to me being in the classroom. This was before Kid YouTube and all that was available, and if I wanted to show a YouTube video that went along with my teaching, you can't help sometimes that a ticker might come under there and might have a foul language on it, and you're getting it off as quick as possible. And if it ever did happen, I immediately apologized to the children, and I would call parents and say, you know, they may have seen this. I apologize, this happened. And there was none of that from him. You know, nobody's saying it was him that did anything, but it did happen in his office, and it was his TV. And even if he didn't do anything, you know, just the simple of, oh my gosh, I have no idea how that got there, because he did acknowledge in his reaction that there was something inappropriate on that TV. And so, you know, just say, I have no idea how that got there. I will get to the bottom of it. And Ms. Carson, you especially, I apologize that you had to be exposed to that.
Ryan?
I would have expected, I did expect, the way we transitioned from that incident back into our meeting, it was
abrupt?
It was abrupt, but it was like he sat back down and we just went on. We just, like, nothing ever happened.
Was there any thought to say, hey? So just into our newsroom, there is a third-party report out now about the TV in question prepared for OMES.
Cybersecurity, we're talking about. Lawmakers received it from Alias Cybersecurity, a private digital forensics firm called to support the ongoing state investigation. Investigators say they looked at the smart TV in the meeting room, but could not verify what content was played on it during the meeting.
Now, the report states, and this is important to note, the TV had screen sharing and AirPlay features, which means that someone could have streamed something from an external device without leaving a record on that TV. The Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation is now stepping in to help with the Sheriff's Office investigation. The Oklahoma County DA says the agencies will figure out if anything criminal happened at the meeting, and if so, decide what the legal process would be. The sheriff told us this morning his focus is finding the truth.
We don't succumb to political pressure. I don't move that way. My organization will not move that way. We will just make sure that the county is represented appropriately, the state is represented appropriately, as well as the Department of Education is represented appropriately.
And deputies told us yesterday it is only just beginning its investigation. So far, no word on how long it's going to take. We told you earlier, OMES is the agency that first requested the investigation into the superintendent. That was after board member Becky Carson filed a formal complaint.
News 9's Elizabeth Fitz continues our live team coverage with a deep dive into the agency's role in all of this. Elizabeth?
Bobbie, Karl, first and foremost, OMES says it is not a law enforcement agency and has no authority to investigate whether there was anything criminal, but it has reached out to the Oklahoma County Sheriff's Office requesting a formal investigation.
Think of them as a gigantic human resources /tech/ property management company.
The Office of Management and Enterprise Services says it's there to serve the people who serve Oklahomans.
They are the state's IT company, or the state's IT umbrella, and they manage all the IT in the state.
Political analyst Scott Mitchell says OMES is also the state's cybersecurity agency. They have the ability to monitor state networks.
And they're able to separate the bull from the baloney. They can tell what was broadcast. They can tell what was deleted. They can tell what sites people have been to. They can tell with 100% certainty what's going on.
He says if the state superintendent wanted to end the discussion,
he could voluntarily hand over his devices to OMS OMS could determine what the truth was.
OMES says it can only review technology at an agency's request unless directed by the legislature, law enforcement, or court system. OMES cannot review other state or personal devices without permission from that agency and/or individuals. However, on Monday afternoon, OMES, along with 3 sheriff deputies, visited OSDE and had a third-party vendor conduct a review. The agency said it examined the equipment in question, a 55-inch Samsung TV, and found that a one-time passcode was required to access screencasting to the TV, limiting the number of people with casting ability to the device. The TV also had cable access and streaming services, but its search history was empty. Due to the sheer quantity, OMES said streaming services were not given a full review. OMES says it is currently waiting for word from the sheriff's office, but at this time it cannot determine definitively whether or not an incident took place. Bobbie.
Okay, Elizabeth, thank you for that research that you did. As far as what comes next, OMES says each state agency has its own human resources policies and disciplinary procedures, which it does not dictate or enforce.
We do, of course, want to report that we did reach out to the state superintendent today to share his side of the story with us. We have not heard back.
The board is set to meet in a few weeks again, August 28th, 9:30 a.m. Following state law, we'll know what's on the agenda for that meeting at least 24 hours before. What you saw tonight is just a small snippet of our exclusive interview with the 3 board members. You can watch the entire thing right now on news9.com. Just scan the QR code on your screen.
All right, Oklahoma, here we go. Cold front moving through the state. Get ready. Rain and storms increasing. How cool will it get? Your forecast is next.
Also ahead on News 9, the Sooners' goals for the upcoming season ahead of their very first full practice tomorrow. And next.
Did he direct these board members to lie about me?
What's behind Walter's accusations against Governor Stitt, their complicated history as our coverage continues.
You're watching Oklahoma's own News 9.
The investigation into the TV at the State Department of Education is steeped in a complicated history in the relationship between Governor Stitt and Ryan Walters.
5 years ago, the two made appearances together. They spoke very highly of each other, but not anymore. Our Matt McCabe explains why an apparent falling out has only made the latest controversy cut deeper.
Bobbie and Karl, this year in particular has accelerated a decline in the relationship between the governor and state superintendent. It's another potential reason why Ryan Walters is trying to put the current controversy on the governor. Oklahoma's Governor Kevin Stitt and State Superintendent of Public Instruction Ryan Walters once upon a time played for the same team. In this video from 2022, you see Walters hit Stitt with an assist before scoring on 2 Senate pages. Or in this video later that year, Stitt and Walters hugging it out at a campaign event. So given their history and Stitt's involvement in launching a political career for Walters, when exactly did it all change? There's not an exact answer, but this year has been the steepest slope for the two. This year, Stitt replaced 4 members on the board with new appointees. They also sparred back and forth in February over immigration enforcement in schools.
When you're picking on kids, I guess when you're using them as political pawns, I guess when you're starting to make my state nervous about something that's just pretty normal. I guess that's when I'm like, listen, enough's enough. This is getting ridiculous.
The governor does not want us to follow President Trump's guidance and his executive orders, and it's unfortunate that these board members were removed. But, it's not going to stop us from continuing to work to bring President Trump's vision to Oklahoma and continue to work to improve our schools for parents, teachers, and kids.
Now the two remain at odds, with Walters questioning whether OSDE's board members are targeting him in a conspiracy orchestrated by the governor. The board members News 9 interviewed today said the governor has not directed them to make claims regarding the TV in Ryan Walters' office. Karl?
All right, Matt, and Walters, during his press conference yesterday, railed against the governor. He asked camera crews to turn their attention to the governor's office.
From the Bob Mills Weather Center, the Oklahoma weather expert, David Payne.
We knew it was coming. We were wondering when our triple-digit heat was going to arrive.
It has arrived.
Here it is.
A little bit delayed.
A little late.
A little late. That's okay.
There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
101 today.
July 30th.
Hottest so far this summer. So 97 until today. So we did it. So we'll add a few more. Not tomorrow though. Tomorrow we're going to drop it 15 to 20 degrees.
That is really something.
Yeah,
we're going to get a good break.
We're going to get a nice break. For this time of year to get it's kind of rare. You don't always get big fronts at the end of July going into August, but
several days of this break.
Yeah, 4 or 5 days. So somebody's living right. And it's not Amanda Taylor.
Oh.
Now, don't throw her into the bus when she's not here. I'm taking up for you, Amanda.
I did text her earlier. I said, I'm going to you tonight, so be sure to watch.
Visiting her sister on a big birthday.
Yeah.
Sister's having a big
don't
birthday.
take up for her.
I think you have to.
I feel like I really should.
You're not going to.
She's not even here. All right, let's take a look. Oh, first of all, we had a couple of severe storms today. Look at that shot there from Kyle Wilson from Northwest Oklahoma, from Woodward. He was all over that. And believe it or not, there was some very weak rotation with that storm today. Nothing crazy, but it went up, it collapsed. We had some damaging wind. There's a little bit of wind right there. Nice shot from Kyle. As this thunderstorm again went up, came down, another storm went back up. So we kind of did this off and on. This is up near Winoka today. And look at this. Look at the wind. Look at there. There's your downburst. Look at that, folks. Boom, boom, boom. That is nothing but wind and rain slamming the ground, spreading out. Winds were 50 to 60 miles per hour. And then you get farther east. Val was in northern Oklahoma, and we had a controlled burn up near Medford today. So, wow, there was a lot going on today in northern and northwestern Oklahoma. All right, back to Links 1. Here it is. Today, 101. That was the high in Oklahoma City. Up until today, it was 97. So we have now had our first 100 of the year, of the summer. All right, so rain and storms in Kansas now, northern Oklahoma. Kind of a batch of rain coming into the far west right now. Nothing severe, and there won't be anything severe overnight tonight. No damaging wind, no tornadoes, no hail. Rain, a little thunder coming into Roll and Cheyenne, also up near Shattuck and Follett. Everything moving kind of easterly at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. So not very fast, but some decent rains. Nice rain up near Newkirk right now. A little thunder up there. Now over Call Lake, making its way again off to the east. And look at NextGen Live, our 1,000,000-watt dual-pole radar. How powerful is it? Well, not to mention the most powerful live radar in Oklahoma. See the cold front? See that green line advancing south and east? That will give you 80s for highs tomorrow. The cold front is moving in. Here in Oklahoma City, 84 degrees. Downtown looks good. We are quiet. Still some 90s on the map out ahead of the cold front. Behind it, it's a little cooler. And then look at the 70s and 60s in the Panhandle. There's your cold front. It'll keep sliding south and east with a north wind tonight that will continue to push south and east. And here's what it looks like overnight. A little rain, some thunderstorms hanging around. But again, nothing severe out of this. And we'll have a few more around even as we get into tomorrow and tomorrow night into your Thursday. Rain amount, some areas nothing. Some areas pick up another inch, maybe a little more than that. All right, so overnight tonight, tomorrow morning, rain and storms, northern, northwestern, western Oklahoma. Only a slight chance in Oklahoma City. What about lows tonight? In the 70s. And look at tomorrow, only into the 80s, 90s down south. It's a keeper. Slight chance for a shower thunderstorm tomorrow. 90 forecast. It gets better for Friday. There's your weekend, upper 80s. And low 90s early next week. Now the real heat, it comes back for the middle of next week. Sports is next.
Driven by your Oklahoma Ford dealers, this is News 9 Sports with Toby Rowland.
I really like this roster. I think that it's a better overall roster from where we were a year ago. And the test of time will tell, where this team stands. We've got a great challenge in front of us from a schedule standpoint, something that all of us are looking forward to.
He's focused. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Riverwind Casino Sports Desk. Here we go. 1 month to the season opener in Norman. High hopes in year 2 in the SEC. Today, the Sooners met with the media. Tomorrow, practice begins. One note, no Eli Bowen to start fall camp. He had an ankle injury in the spring. Our Chris Williams was at Owen Field today, where they're tired of talking and ready to put on the pads.
It's been getting chippy, and it's about time we get in the pads. To show the defense what's up.
You love hearing that. Makes you excited for fall camp to get here. And it's funny, the guys have talked all about the amount of trash talk between the offense and defense all offseason. But the competition isn't just about bragging rights. Out here on the field over the next 4 weeks, starting spots are going to be earned.
I think we have position battles across the board. I don't want guys comfortable just getting to play. Everybody should want to be the first guy running out, and then fight like hell if they're not.
You better believe offensive line is one of those position groups the coaches will be keeping a close eye on. On the other side of the trenches, the defensive line, that's one of the ones Sooner fans feel the best about.
Do you guys have the best defensive line in the conference, you think?
Wholeheartedly, I can't believe that, yes, sir. Indeed.
And what is it that makes you guys so dangerous?
It's that connection between us, to be honest. Like, I know we're good physically, but on a mental standpoint, on a bonding standpoint, like, I feel like nothing can undo our bond.
If it was up to be right now, we'd play right now. And we have a lot of experience, a lot of young talent, development that's happened over the offseason since spring ball. And it's now how can we pick up from where we left off in the spring.
Practice number 1 on Thursday morning, and then of course the season opener on August 30th right here at Owen Field. In Norman, I'm Chris Williams.
Thank you, Chris. Butkus Award preseason watch list for the top linebackers out today. 3 from the state of Oklahoma, Kip Lewis and Sammy Omasigo from OU, and Brian McCoy Jr. at OSU. First practice today for new Tulsa head coach Trey Lamb and the Golden Hurricane. This guy's fun. He was on the Blitz with us Sunday night. He says they've already made great strides, but a long ways to go.
You watch the first day of spring practice compared to today, it looks like 2 different football teams on the defensive side of the ball. Look, we still got to meet, we still got to practice. We're nowhere near ready to compete for an American Conference title, but we're getting there. Proud of our team.
Those guys starting practice tomorrow. Very happy with David's forecast, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Nice out there. Yeah.
Take it cool for sure.
Works out for them.
Thanks.
Still ahead, OU celebrating an international win, how a robot helps students capture first place.
OU's competitive robotics team is celebrating a first-place win at an international competition. They programmed their robot Twistifer to navigate an obstacle course, and it finished in less than 2.5 minutes, which seems pretty good for a robot. OU beating 28 teams from 7 different countries for their 3rd consecutive win.
Take that, SEC.
Take the, yeah, that's right.
Look at that. That's
right. Read it and weave. Jeez.
That's how Bobbie drives home at night.
Nice and slow, taking it easy.
I followed you home, by the way.
cones.
What's wrong with you?
No!
Not everybody tonight.
That's Robin Marsh, and we all know
Oh,
that.
yeah, Robin.
When we get pulled over, we say, I know David Payne, and we don't get a ticket.
No, you'll go to jail.
That's how it works.
Go to jail.
You'll go to jail.